So here we're told that a ramp rises 1.2 meters vertically over a horizontal distance of 4.5 meters, and we're asked to find the angle that the ramp makes with the ground. And so straight away we know we're going to be dealing with trigonometry, and we know that we're given basically two side lengths, so we're going to be looking for an unknown angle, and so we can set up our diagram here to represent that. So we can just draw a ramp, which is going to basically look like this, and it's going to go over horizontally as well, and then we can set up our right angle here on the right. So that's going to be our right angle. And we're basically told that the vertical distance for this little ramp is going to be 1.2 meters. So we can write that over here on the vertical side. And then on the horizontal side, we're going to have 4.5 meters. So this is kind of the run, if you like, and then our rise is going to be 1.2 meters. And what we're looking for, crucially, is the angle it makes with the ground. So that's very important. So we're looking for the angle the ramp makes with the ground, which is this angle, because our ramp is actually the hypotenuse. So our ramp, we're just going to write ramp up here on the hypotenuse side. And then this 4.5 meters, we're told is the horizontal distance, so that's going to be the ground. And so that basically sets up our actual triangle. That's all the information we're given in the question. Now we just need to use our special rule for finding out our trig identities, which is going to be SOHCAHTOA. So this is basically a way of remembering sine, cos, and tan, which lengths in a right angle triangle we can use to find angles or to find sides. And so what I would always do is just look at our triangle and label the side lengths, or the kind of sides in relation to the angle. So you can see that the side opposite the angle theta, the angle theta is going to be the angle that the ramp makes with the ground. So the side opposite this angle is going to be 1.2 meters, and that's going to be just O. So that's O in our SOHCAHTOA. And then the side along the bottom is adjacent to the angle, or beside the angle theta, which is going to be A. So A is basically a fancy way of saying beside. And then of course our ramp is going to be the hypotenuse. So we can say that's H, but we're not going to be using that to actually find the angle. And so our two sides that we're given are the opposite, O, and the adjacent A. And that means that if we look at our trig ratios, what we're going to be having to use is tan. So tan is going to be the trig ratio we use, because once again, we're given the opposite and the adjacent. So we can set up this equation now, so we can say that tan theta is equal to the opposite, which is 1.2 over the adjacent, which is going to be 4.5. And so when we put this in the calculator, we find that this is the same thing as 2.666 and so on. And so when it's infinite sixes, we can write a little dot over the last six. But that's going to basically be our fraction represented as a decimal, just to keep things nice and clear what's going on here. And so now we basically have the tan of theta, which is this value over here, but we need to find the actual angle theta itself, which is what we're asked to find here. So we basically need to take the tan inverse of both sides, which makes the tan disappear over on the left, and we're basically left with the tan inverse of what's on the right. So we're basically moving our tan over to the right hand side, and this is something that becomes much easier at practice. What we are basically doing here, we're just moving our tan over from the left to being a tan inverse on the right. And so we're basically going to have this over here on the right. And so now we can actually just plug this into our calculator to find the value of the angle theta. And that is going to be roughly equal to 14.93 to two decimal places. I'm also going to round this up to the nearest whole number, so that's going to be 15. And then our unit of measurement for degrees is going to be degrees. Our unit of measurement for angles is going to be degrees. So theta is going to be 15 degrees here, and that's going to be it for this question.